Lakers Nation, what is going on, guys? So, good morning. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what is plan A if the Lakers don't land their starter level center, whatever it's a franchise player like a Walker Kessler. I know earlier in the season, like 2 or 3 months into the season, the Lakers did offer a trade for Walker Kessler. I believe it was like D'Angelo Russell, Jano Ficino, like multiple first round picks. Might have been just D'Angelo Russell, but Danny Ainge loves to, ask for a lot, play hardball. So they still haven't came off, the 2 first-round picks, right? But Walker Kessler's plan A. He's my favorite option because of his, age. He's like 23, 24. He's going to a contract year. He's going to get, paid, right? He's very cheap, contract-wise, making around $4 million. You could pretty much swap him for, Dalton Connect. But it's about the assets to draft capital. So what is out there? What is available? Cost, asking price. And also I'm hearing that Walker Kessler's back on the trade market. Now there was like a recent report pretty much coming out the other day from NBA Central and stuff like that the Lakers, centerpiece around the trade would be Rui Hachimura or, John Collins. Yes, he could play small ball, 5, but he's best at the 4. That's his natural position. He could guard 3 through 5, right? So those are the reports that did come out. And now if the Lakers don't land and Mark Williams, I know the Lakers would trade for him around the trade deadline after they just, shocked the world trading for Luka Doncic. But it was just sudden because of his, physical, not passing it and stuff like that. And about like a week ago, might have been even less than that, I did, see a recent report coming out that the Charlotte Hornets are looking for like a similar trade package what the Lakers did offer. I believe it was like, Dalton Connect, that unprotected 2031 first-round pick, and like Cam Reddish, right, for Mark Williams. But we'll see what happens. And today we're going to be talking about like what is plan B when it comes to the center options. And we do got a huge update involving Jackson Hayes maybe potentially joining to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, before I get straight into the video, guys, I'd really appreciate it if you could keep liking. It really helps the channel grow a lot. The audience, make sure you guys subscribe as well. We're on the road to 4K subs, so it means a lot to me. Follow my socials if you guys want to stay connected with me. The links will be down in the description. And turn on the notification bell as well if you guys want to stay updated. I do post 365 days if you guys enjoy my videos. Now, let's get back into today's video, right? Now, when it comes to the West, it's just wild. It's going to continue to get better. The Lakers lack size. We really don't have a star-level center on this team. And that's how we got ran through in the first round. We lost in like 5 games. Gentlemen swept against, the Minnesota Timberwolves, right? Going with Jackson Hayes. He was playing out of position, or he shouldn't even be playing as a starting level center, but he had to because the Lakers just didn't really have great options. Alex Len, he was available for the playoffs, but I guess JJ Redick didn't really trust him. He was bought out. So Lakers did sign him. You got Christian Koloko, Trey Jemison, so they weren't, playoff eligible. So, like, what other options are you going to go with? You had to play, Dorian Finney-Smith at small ball 5, Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, Jared Vanderbilt. So the Lakers are undersized. The Minnesota Timberwolves were just punishing us. Rudy Gobert had the time of his life in Game 5. Especially because of the first 4 games in the series, he was struggling, but he had like 27 points and 24 rebounds. And Naz Reid was just hitting threes and stuff like that and clutch shots. So they just are a bigger team. You're going to be going up against Jokic, the likes of Isaiah Hardenstein, Chet Holmgren. So the Lakers really need size in this Wild West. Like I said, it's going to continue to get better. Now, the first player that I do want to talk about, what is really realistic, and that is plan B, is, Nick Claxton. He's been linked to the Lakers even dating back to, this past trade line. And I know the Lakers were able to pull off a trade for Dorian Finney-Smith after the Memphis Grizzlies offered like a lightly protected first-round pick. I believe it was like John Conchar and Luke Kennard. Luke on their team, right? That sharpshooter, right? But I know Sean Marks, the GM of the Brooklyn Nets, really values expiring contracts, so that's why they took the Lakers deal. It was like a 3 second-round picks, might have been 2, but it was including D'Angelo Russell, Maxwell Lewis for, Dorian Finney-Smith, right? So the question is, what is the Brooklyn Nets willing to do? Because they have like 5 picks in total in this year's draft. They're going to have to cut and waste some guys. Like, are you really going to bring in 5 players in your roster? Like, that's half your team, right? Because you got like 4 first-round picks and you have like 1 second-round pick, right? So they're going to have to clear the deck. I mean, you got your center and Day One Sharp. He's a backup, but he's going to be a free agent restricted, right? So you're going to probably have to pay him. He's younger. He's like, what, 23, 24 years of age, while next Claxton, he's like, what, 26, 27. He's young. I mean, they can bring him back, or not bring him back, but like, they don't have to trade him if they don't want to. But he's not a free agent. Obviously, he's young. He's athletic. He's mobile. He has agility. He could defend in space. He could put him in some action. A very good lob threat. He makes perfect sense for, Luka Doncic. He can help us for now, but also for the future. So I think this is plan B. I know plan B is not bad, but it's not like the best option. It's not the sexiest options like a Walker Kessler or a Mark Williams. You get what I'm trying to say? But he's 6'11". He's not legit 7 feet, but he does weigh about 215 pounds. Like, that's a concern because of his, weight. Doesn't really have the size to punish against, bigger opponents, right? So he's pretty much a pushover, but he's a very good, rebounder. He did average around 7.4 rebounds a game, 10.3 points, 2.2 assists, shot 56.3% from the field. Played 70 games, 62 starts, playing around 26.9 minutes a night, shot actually 51.3% from the free throw line on 2.2 attempts. So he's not a good free throw shooter. He doesn't really take threes like that, but it was on 0.3 attempts, 23%. And I'm looking at his, steals, 0.9, and his blocks is 1.4. So those are his stats. And I also want to show you his contract, Nick Claxton. So he's making, if you see on Spotrac, $24.2 million. He's going to become unrestricted free agent in 2028. His contract terms is 4 years, 97, right? But his money in 2025, 26, it does go down. 25.3 million, 26, 27, 23.1, and then 2027, 28, $20.9 million. So that's when his contract does end up. Maybe include a Rui Hachimura, Max Kleber is expiring. Maybe you're going to have to add some other pieces to get to his contract because he's going to be making around like $25.3 million. Maybe you do include a first-round pick, but I'm not giving up everything for Nick Claxton. Maybe they do want to take on Dalton Connect, but we'll see. That's just my personal opinion. Now, the next player that I do want to talk about is Daniel Gafford. He's a center that already played with Luka Doncic. He's going to contract year. He's a veteran. And that's how far, the Dallas Mavericks got to the NBA Finals. I know they lost to the Boston Celtics, but Luka Doncic played well with, Daniel Gafford. He already got the chemistry, and he just makes perfect sense. Elite, shot blocker. But also, I believe, the center and Derek Lively is going to be going to a contract year, I believe in like 2026. When he does turn like 21 or 22, whatever how old he is. You know what I'm trying to say? You traded for Anthony Davis for, Luka Doncic, so he's on a max contract. Also, you just landed the first overall pick. You're going to draft Cooper Flagg. He plays, the forward position. He can even play, power forward, I believe center, but he's like 6'9", so he's young, athletic, versatile. And then you got P.J. Washington, who's like 6'6". He's listed as a small forward, but he can play the small ball center. So maybe he's the odd man out. They're going to have to make some decisions. You already know you got Nico Harrison, the relationship with, Rob Pelinka. So maybe the Lakers do engage in trade talks for Daniel Gafford. But I do want to talk about Daniel Gafford's, stats and stuff like that and his contract in just a second. So he's 26. He did average around 12.3 points per game, 6 rebounds, 1.4 assists, shot 70.2% from the field. And his games played 57, 31, starts, playing around 21.5 minutes a night, shot 70.2% from the field. Didn't take any threes. Like, he's not a floor spacer, never shot a 3 attempt in his career, but he did shoot around 68.9% from the free throw line on 3.4 attempts per game, 6 rebounds, 1.4 assists, 1 blocks, and 0.4 steals, right? Now, when it comes to free agency, I want to bring that up. Maybe the Lakers can sign a Brook Lopez because I'm hearing he's not going to come back to, the Milwaukee Bucks. he's going to be a free agent unrestricted. He's 37, but he isn't my favorite option. Like, everything else fails, then go get him in free agency, because I wouldn't mind the Lakers taking a gap year and, using their assets towards perimeter help, because we need more than a center. We need perimeter, we need wing depth, we need versatile players, we need a 3-and-D guard. We need a lot of things to fill this roster, that void, right? And we need a bench, right? So maybe you sign Brook Lopez to a vet minimum, but I'm not sure if he's going to take that. Like, I'm not paying him or giving him the taxpayer MLE. Like, I'm not doing that, especially if he's not a long-term piece and he's a short-term piece. I'm hearing about Clint Capella from the Atlanta Hawks. Does look like he's going to come back. He's a free agent, unrestricted, right? He's not the same player in his, Houston Rockets days when he did play with James Harden, but he's still one of the better, rebounders in the league. A lob threat. He's versatile. He could switch multiple positions. And weren't they also trying to trade him around the trade deadline? And he saw the emergence of, Nneka Okongwu, in the star lineup. And, Clint Capella was like their backup, right? You got Jalen Johnson, but he missed like the remainder of the season due to, injury, and he had surgery and stuff like that. So maybe I do give Clint Capella, the taxpayer MLE, which is around $5.8 million. And you give Brook Lopez, the vet minimum. So I would do that, especially if like everything else fails. Like, let's say you don't get a Walker Kessler, you don't re-engage and, talk with Charlotte because they might not want to help the Los Angeles Lakers again if we can't get Mark Williams because of that mess and stuff like that. And him, trolling the Lakers after getting eliminated in the first round and getting dominated in the paint because we're just, undersized. So it's just going to come down to the asking price and the cost, because we all know 30 or 29 different teams in the NBA all know that the Lakers need a center. And a lot of teams are not happy that we traded for Luka Doncic, especially because what we gave up and the assets and stuff like that. So teams are not going to, help the Lakers. So the Lakers are going to have to, be willing to pony up and give up some draft capital is what it is. Unless they do draft a center with a 55th overall pick or, trade up in the draft to go into the first round or, move into lottery. Like, let's say they get, Kamach from, Duke, whatever his name is, right? Which I doubt. Maybe in Duke, to connect a first-round pick, maybe get a third team involved or less. It's just, that one team you're trading with, because this team's like, the Sixers have a third overall pick. The Spurs have second. The Raptors, I believe they have 9th. The Wizards, I'm pretty sure they have like the 6th overall pick, correct me if I'm wrong. And the New Orleans Pelicans have 7. This is, very interesting. So teams do have, picks that can really help the Los Angeles Lakers. Like I said, Brooklyn have like 4 first-round picks and like 1 second-round pick. And it's like close to, near, the late first round. I know they have 36, but that's, really good for them. Like, are they really going to, bring in 4 or 5 players? Like, maybe they give us, one of their, first-round picks, maybe 8th or 19th. We'll see. But, yeah, man, let me know in the comment section. How do you guys feel about today's video? Do you guys agree with my take? Let me know in the comment section if you guys like my breakdown. Make sure you guys keep liking, sharing to, get it to more people. Really helps the channel grow a lot, the audience. So I love you guys. I'm going to keep, posting, if not almost every single day, daily. I haven't went a day without uploading. So shout out to my viewers, my OG subscribers. And comment down today's video if there's any topics in mind you guys want to see me talk about, whatever it's trades, mock trades, rumors, free agency, signing trades, the NBA draft, because we're around the corner. Today's June 22nd on Sunday morning. So we're about like 3 days or 4 days away from, the NBA draft. It's 2 days because it's going to be Wednesday and then you got Thursday. So, man, I just cannot wait. But links will be down in the description. And I got to say one last thing before I end this video off. I almost forgot. So Jackson Hayes, right? There was like a report literally coming out from Lakers Better. There's a rumor coming out that Jackson Hayes can earn around $5 million in free agency. I believe the Lakers could sign him for around $4 million using his bird rights without affecting their taxpayer MLE. Like, for example, let's say you want to sign a Clint Capella for at least $5.8 million. Or, Brook Lopez, which I said fat minimum, but he could potentially sign for, the taxpayer MLE. Like, let's say the Lakers do sign Jackson Hayes for like what, 3 or 4 million, then I don't mind that as our third center. But as a starter or a backup, then no. If he's like our third center, then sure, because I'm not the biggest fan of Jackson Hayes. Like, he's mid, he's not good. Like, he's probably going to come back to the Los Angeles Lakers. I know there was like a report coming out that he wasn't thrilled towards the end of the season, his role, because he got benched in Game 5 after being, unplayable like the first 4 games. And our, first-year head coach, J.D. Redick, just really didn't have, trust in him. So that's why. But he also said this: I wouldn't mind bringing him back as a backup too. The backup, he showed promise in March alongside Luka Doncic as a lob threat and was statistically the number 1 defensive center in the NBA for a month. Which he is, right? But we saw in the playoffs when this game slowed down, they were just, attacking him and stuff like that. But he only played like less than 10 minutes a night. And I believe it was like Game 3 or Game 4 where he only played like 4 minutes. He had like 2 points. But the problem with Jackson is his positioning on defense. Yes, he looks good at moments, but he's not a great rebounder. He's not a great, shot blocker. And he's 7 feet tall. Like, he's not disciplined defensively enough, right? He's not locked and engaged at times. But that's just how I feel about Jackson Hayes. Like, where is he going to get the money? Like, I don't see him getting at least $6-7 million. I mean, unless, a team that's mediocre wants to, bring him in, like the Charlotte Hornets. Because I remember, I believe it was like a month or 2 ago, I saw a recent report that the Charlotte Hornets were the favorites to land, Jackson Hayes if he didn't come back to the Los Angeles Lakers and stuff like that. That was like literally after the reports did come out that he wasn't thrilled with his role towards the end of the season. But yeah, man, I'm out of your piece. Cheers.